Well, hello everybody, and welcome to G Bear's Off-Grid Oven in the desert. Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Uh, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, 6:23. That's the date, and it's 3:32 in the afternoon. Oh, 3:33 in the afternoon. Lucky numbers. And if you look at my subscriber count, I got 333 in the beginning of that too. Anyway. It's cooling off. I think there's a cold front coming through, and it may snow later. It's 104 degrees now, 7% humidity. But a little bit earlier today, shot this picture. There we are at 234. That's an hour ago. 109 with 8% humidity. 102 was the heat index, and it's down to 96 on the heat index right now. So. Yep, cold front coming through. Better go get my sweater. Oh, well. All right, everybody. Just wanted to show you that sometimes it does get warm out here, but the single digit humidity, and that makes it bearable. Bear joke intended. And, I forgot to tell you yesterday when I went and bought my greenhouse. There was an opportunity for me to buy a greenhouse, and originally they told me it was a damaged box hit by a forklift, and I was going to buy that one. They were going to give me the 10 by 12 greenhouse for half price, 50% off. And I said, wow, that's a great deal. So yeah, let's do it. They said, well, there might be a few screws and bolts and things missing because the bag is torn open, and it looks like there's just a few screws and nuts and bolts and things left in it. I said, well, that's okay. I'll buy a package of your universal nuts and bolts here, and I'll have plenty to go around. If I need more, I'll just go to the hardware store and get them. So the guy goes in the back and he starts loading this thing up, gets it on a cart, and I went over to see how he was doing, and he started showing me the thing, and he's pulling the bags of parts out that are the bags are opened, and there's parts missing from them. So I just want to make sure that the clips that hold the poly panels into the frame are there, because everything else I can buy at a hardware store, but those spring clips, I can't buy those at a hardware store. They're specialty items. So he's looking through the box, and I see him moving a couple of the bars and stuff in the metal pieces around. I look down at them, and the holes, you can see where this thing was. Apparently somebody bought this thing, tried to assemble it, screwed it up, put it back in a box, and returned it. Well, that was enough for me to say, ain't no way I'm taking that risk. If they broke a part, lost a part, the bag of springs is still laying where they were assembling the unit at, well, I'm not going to take that chance. So I said, no, I'll just take the $100 off coupon, and I'll pay the regular price, but I'll get something that I know I've got. All right, so I forgot to cover that yesterday, and I figured I better let you know just in case you were wondering. I did order the greenhouse. They said it might take 2 weeks to come in, so we'll see. All right, I'm coming down here. You notice I moved the van. Well, I did go up to my neighbors today, and I picked up some water. And here's the tote, and it's filled 3/4 of the way up. And I've used some of this water already. I put my connector on the bottom here, my double connector, and I got a garden hose on here. And the valve is open, so I can get water out of the hose right now. It's got pretty good pressure coming out of here just for gravity feed. But I made sure that this container was completely cleaned out this morning. It was spotless inside, not even the slightest leftover odor of hand sanitizer, alcohol, or anything like that. It was perfect. I cleaned it out last night, and I left the covers off of it, bottom and top, so that the thing could completely dry out overnight, and it did. So anyway, I picked up just under 270 gallons on this. Yeah, well, let's see. Where are we here? Okay, so here's 200 gallons here. There's 250 there. So I was about up here, so about 270. I'm sorry, 225, 230, about 230 gallons in there. And then inside the van, I have 4 20-gallon barrels. And I filled up all of those also. So those 4 are filled. So there's another 80 gallons in here. So I'm well over 300 gallons of water here. One thing was that the filter on his system was dirty, not cleaned. So there is some sediment got through into some of this water. So I'm not going to put this in my tank. I will, however, use this in the solar shower, which I'll shower outside. It's plenty warm, as you saw with the look at the thermometer earlier. I could use this to refill the solar shower and shower outdoors with it. The extra little pieces of sediment that are in here, there's a lot of granite and stuff down deep in here, and that's what the aquifer runs through. So yeah, okay, no big deal. It's not perfectly clear water because it hasn't been filtered yet, but my tank is fairly clean, and I don't want to dirty that before I get a water delivery out here. So I won't put this into my tank, but I will use it to make sure that my garden stays alive. As you can see, I watered my mulberry trees out here, gave them a good soaking, made sure that they were good and wet. Then another thing I did was I had an old 5-gallon water bottle, and it had a hole in it. I was going to weld it at one point, and I have a plastic welder, and I was going to fix it. But, you know, I bought that thing probably 15, 17 years ago, and I only used it maybe a dozen times for camping. Well, I don't do a lot of camping anymore because I camp every day out here in the 20-acre desert. And I just figured I'd cut it in half, and I made 2 little wading ponds, one there and one down here. And you can see the little chicks are laying right beside the water where it's nice and cool, because as I rinsed that out, I spilled some of the water over the side, and I wet the ground up, so they're on the wet ground staying cool. That one little girl over there inside the coop, she just constantly stays right in that corner. She likes that corner right by the watering dish, so she can get a drink when she wants to. But we'll see as things get a little bit better. And I'm going to be putting nesting boxes against the back wall, and that water dish will move, and there'll be nesting boxes there, but I'll bet you she'll go in the nesting box instead right in that corner. Now I did fill up their crumbles today, the layers crumbles, and it looks like they've gone through half of that already. And I brought them out this container of scratch. It looks like they spilled most of that. There's Blackie getting into it. Oh, Blackie's getting big. Blackie's he's young. He's not even 6 months old yet, and he's as big as, if not bigger than Brewster over there. So there's Brewster, Nellie, and the other 3 chicks. The one chick that's hanging close right by the water with Brewster and Nellie, that was the first one that started going into that coop with them on a regular basis. So she's kind of like been fully adopted. The other 2, they're not fully adopted yet, but they are accepted. They all sleep together in that coop now. And I'll be splitting the boxes I've got in there. Standard size nesting box for a hen, unless it's a big one like a New Jersey Giant or something like that. A regular hen, 12 by 12 by 12 is a good size nesting box. The ones I have inside the coop there are 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot each, and I've got 4 of them. So I'm going to split those in half and save myself some time of making extra boxes, and that's going to give me 8 nesting boxes in there instead of 4, and that'll cover my 8 hens. Each one will have their own. Of course, you find out down the line that one of the nesting boxes becomes a favorite, and they all seem to go in there and lay their eggs in a pile in one place. But we'll see what happens with that. All right. So tonight for dinner, I'm thinking that I was going to make chicken cacciatore. But as hot as it is, I don't want to run around and try to catch a Tory. Oh, jeez. I know. How many of you went, oh? I had to throw that in there. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to do just good old barbecued chicken on the barbecue over there. It's been working out great in that little area. Blocks the winds as they come up late in the afternoon, which should be starting to come up any time now. You can see the flag starting to move. Comes up every afternoon. And then as the sun sets, it gets just a nice breeze going. And boy, it's comfortable sleeping. Of course, this heat wave isn't going to last. Forecast says Monday is actually going to drop down into the 80s again. So that's going to be a whole different story. And get a lot of things done when it's cooler down like that. Hopefully by Monday, I'll have water on site. I'll get a delivery out here. Hopefully. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. In the meantime, my neighbors will make sure that my chickens and my plants don't die. And the rest of the water, like I said, I can take outdoor showers, and I save whatever water that goes down below me in buckets. I use that for flushing the toilet. So I can get by on what I've got until I get a load of water out here. And hopefully one of the two companies I've got online will come through and get me some water out here. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me today on today's episode. I hope I've earned your subscriptions. You can go down at the bottom there and click subscribe. Don't forget to click on the little bell icon so you're notified when I post a new video. And now that I'm kind of like a little relieved that there's water on site here. I got an extra 300 gallons plus the 150 gallons left in the main tank, plus 40 gallons up there on top of the mass shower. And I should be okay. By the way, these barrels, rain barrels on the corner, they have water in them, and that's good for irrigation water. They're not totally full and topped off, but there's still water in there. But the only thing it's good for is irrigation water because it has algae in it. And that's fine. And plants don't mind if there's algae in there. It's a good nutrient for them. So they like it. So G-Bear signing off.